Hello, hello! In this video, we're creating ourselves a level 2. We're doing that by prefabbing all of the elements that we needed in level 1 to make our game work, and then quickly creating a level 2. So let's jump in and get started. Let's start by prefabbing all of the elements from our level 1 that we can. We can grab the paddle and drop it into our prefabs folder. That will now create a paddle prefab. We can drag the ball down and do the same with ball. Let's see, play space. Yep, that is all nicely organized. We can drag play space down and we now have this. If you expand play space, you can see that it consists of our image and the various colliders that we have in there, which is pretty cool. And then what else do we need to do? Main camera, I'm just going to rename main camera into game camera just to differentiate it from, our game over camera, or if there are any other cameras that we might have. Drag game camera down into our prefabs. Now we have that prefabbed as well. And you can see that when we prefab, it creates the prefab in the prefab folder and also immediately converts the game object into an instance of that prefab. It all happens simultaneously. We could, of course, delete the camera and then drop the game camera back into the hierarchy. You replace it in there, and that will do the same thing. It puts the camera back exactly as we had it. Okay, what else do we need to do in here? The blocks themselves are all prefabbed. We don't need to prefab this grouping of blocks, just the blocks within it. And then scene loader. Now, interesting, we have scene loader in all of our scenes. I will prefab the scene loader. That will mean that this particular scene loader is now prefabbed, but the ones in the other scenes will have to delete the existing scene loader and reinstantiate from dragging in. We'll do that in a moment. The event system, we don't need to touch. It can remain as it is. And the canvas is not really doing anything in our game screen at the moment, but we might want to have some UI on it. So let us drag the canvas down. Actually, I'm going to rename this first before we do that. Just rename it to game canvas. So I can see game canvas just to differentiate it from, say, a level over canvas, or a game over, I should say, game over canvas. Now everything, event system, let's prefab event system just for fun. We'll drop that down in there. Okay, Excellente. Now everything is prefab. That looks pretty good. We'll save our level and jump over into our other scenes. Scene, game over scene. What do we need to do in here? Well, we need to delete the scene loader because that's now prefabbed, and drag in the, where is it? Scene loader. Drag in the scene loader prefab. Blunk, there it is in there. Perfect. Canvas. We have the, I don't plan on reusing these again, so I don't really need to prefab these. Generally, there's some schools of thought that say prefab everything, absolutely everything. Sometimes I don't do it just because it doesn't seem necessary. For now, we'll only prefab the scene loader, but there's no harm in prefabbing these other elements as well. We do need to, because we've reinstantiated the scene loader. That means our play again button is going to be broken. We've gone and lost the connection that we had to the previous scene loader. So now I need to do is just click on play again button, drag in the scene loader because that is a missing object, or it was a missing object. Click on no function, scene loader, and select, what will this be? Load start scene, back to the start of the game. Excellent. And then we can save this back into our other scenes, back into start menu. Same thing over here, delete scene loader. Find our prefabs, drag scene loader in. Scene loader, cool. And then onto our canvas, find the start button and click, drag in scene loader. There we go. My no function, scene loader, and load next scene. Cool. Okay, that should be pretty good. Like I said, we could prefab this particular camera for the start menu. I'm not going to do that at the moment because I'm not exactly sure. Do I want a different camera for the start menu, different camera for the game? And our canvases are going to be different for the start and the game over, so I won't prefab those. They'll be different to the main game. Okay, so now if I click on play, let's just check that everything is hooked up correctly. We can play the game, we can lose the game. Click start, wonderful. Shoot the ball, let it go to the bottom. Oh, something we need to fix up there. Oh, this is not good. Okay, mental note, we need to change that. That's the reason you have gravity, so you can't get stuck in that endless floating from left to right. But that's some gameplay stuff we'll figure out pretty soon. We'll just let it bounce down there. Great. Click play again. Wonderful. Okay, so we've got our game loop all back. It's working well. If I go back to our scenes over to level 1, we have all the functionality in our level 1, and we're going to create ourselves a level 2. That will be the challenge for you. Make a second level. Prefab everything you can, as I've just done. Make a second level from scratch. Don't just duplicate level 1. Let's do it from scratch and prove to ourselves that our prefabs now work and we can build a scene from scratch without too much hassle. And then share your level. You don't have to put a lot of love into the layout of this second level, but if you didn't share first time round, it would be great for you to share one of your levels, particularly if you're interested in a little bit of the level design and you want to flex your muscles and show us what you got. Okay, so pause the video and go through the mechanics and create a second level now. Right, step 1, file, new scene. That will open up a new scene. Within here, I'm going to delete the main camera. We don't need that because we have a prefab for it. I will drag in, where is my game camera? So drag in game camera, fantastic. The play space, but drag it in the hierarchy and blunk, it's in the perfect place from where we prefabbed it. It remembers that. Excellent. Next up, we need a paddle, we need a ball, and we need a canvas, game canvas. Great. I'm just going to drop the canvas up the top there. One thing you may have noticed, because I turned this off, I was a bit naughty when I was doing my speed level before. I turned off my UI so that I couldn't see the canvas when I'm in scene mode. So you can click this little toggle here, and you see that my white lines appeared and went away. Sometimes I was finding I was selecting the canvas when I didn't want to. So this doesn't stop it from being seen in the game when we actually play the game. This just stops us from seeing it in scene view. So I often turn off my UI if I don't want it to get in the way. Okay, so we've got ourselves a canvas, a play space, a camera, a paddle, a ball. What else are we missing in here? Blocks. Yep, we need a block or two. We'll drop a block. We need to have our empty game object that we call blocks. Blocks, if I can spell. And then right-click, reset, drop our block under the blocks game object. I'll put this in a nice, neat whole number, 12 and 7, so that I can then use Control, move it to a different spot, and hit Control-D, and then while I'm holding Control, move the object, Control-D, holding Control, Control-D, or Command-D, so that I can quickly create individual blocks, nicely numbered in my hierarchy. And there we go. I'm not going to put a lot of time and effort into this level. That is enough for now. I'll just create one or select 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm holding down Control at the moment. If it lets me get it, great. And then I'll just change the color of this. So it's pretty clear that I've gone and put in some effort. Yeah, lots of effort, Rick. Okay, quiet, other Rick. Now, do you talk to yourself? Sometimes we talk to ourselves, don't we? Okay, let's see. Now we've got our level 2. It all looks to be pretty functional. Save this, and you can see we haven't saved it yet, so it wants to know where shall we place it. Into scenes, we will call it level 2. Level 2. Click on play. Now the block should destroy, and if I let the... Oh no, okay, so the ball's not moving. That means we haven't connected the ball and the paddle. This is the one manual step we need to do. Click on ball, and then you can see here we've got paddle 1. At the moment we need to tell paddle 1 that it is going to be this paddle that we have. I could have just dragged it in as well, over to there. Or I click my selector. That is great. Save this up. Click on the play button. Destroy a block, and then drop down the bottom, game over, play again, start, should take me back to level 1 as it does. Excellent. At the moment we don't have that flow taking you from level 1 to level 2 when you defeat all the blocks in level 1, but we will do that. Well, that'll be some of the functionality we work on. Oh, and before I go, I forgot to mention, I'm going to make my background. You could drop in a new background if you wanted. I'm going to use the same one, so I don't have to go and make another art asset, but I will change the color of it so it looks a little bit different. Just skew it down onto the purple a little bit so I can see at a glance very easily and quickly that it's a different level. Save that up, and we have finished level 2. So great work. We now have a second level. We've been using prefabs to make our level very quickly, and I'll see you in an upcoming video.